Okay, here we are with mutant athlete Trevor Koot at the 2014 CBBF Nationals here in Laval, Quebec. This is the night before the show. We're less than 24 hours to go here, so just have a few questions here for Trevor. How do you feel now compared to how you felt last year at this time?
I guess I could answer that in a couple of different ways. From a kind of a physical, how I feel physically, and that kind of thing. I definitely feel way more depleted. I feel this last couple of weeks has definitely been even with for those that don't know, I did Pittsburgh. I did the North Americans in Pittsburgh last weekend, and even with that, the depletion factor has been way more. Even though there was a little bit of carb up going into that show. Two times traveling as a result of that, going back home to Saskatchewan and then coming out to Laval right away. The turnaround was pretty quick, and so just all of that kind of compounded. But as well, leading into this show, this diet was different. The whole program was different. The whole contest prep was different coming into this show compared to last year. So, which is good. That was the idea. I hired a different trainer on part to help me out, and it'd be a little bit disappointing if you hired somebody new and they had you on the exact same thing you did the year before. So the entire prep was different, and as a result, the package I'm bringing is way different, and in my eyes, and hopefully in everybody else's, is way better. So I'm way more depleted. I feel way more depleted, and that kind of thing. Having said that, I'm way more excited to get on stage because of this package. I'm ready to show it off. Last year was good, but I knew that it wasn't going to blow anybody away, and it certainly wasn't heads and shoulders above the year before. This time, I know, if not for other people, for myself, I'm just excited to get on stage and show off a new package.
Okay. Second question. How does it feel now to have such a huge fan base, so much support on social media compared to last year? People knew who you were last year, but now it's exploded. And
yeah, and I mean, a big component of that, of course, Mutant is the reason for that, and I don't dismiss that. But another big part of that is the Chaos series. We've had such a reception to the three. Kind of three series, the two major Chaos series that we put out, and the fans love it. The feedback is great, but you know, the fans. You put out the Chaos series as an example on YouTube, and there's a bunch of people that comment on YouTube about the video. But then there's so many people that engage you personally. So they'll send you a message, even posting on your wall on Facebook, or sending a tweet publicly through Twitter. But then there's also the people that go one step further and send you a private message on Facebook, or a private message in Twitter, or direct message. And like that kind of support, and they're not expecting anything back. They're not expecting a response, and you know, it's just good wishes or best of luck kind of message, and that is huge. I mean, it still kind of boggles my mind that there's people out there that care, I guess. It's such an individual sport, and you do all of this prep, and it's so individualized. You're there by yourself, other than kind of your core group around you. So to know that there's people out there around the world that are watching this and keeping an eye on it, it's humbling. It's a little nerve-wracking, because all of a sudden you have these people that are going to pay attention to how you're doing, and you want to do well. And but I've come to terms with that as well. I've decided, you know, this is for me. I'm really happy with the package I'm taking, and what happens will happen.
Okay. And third question, if you could look back, looking back on this year's prep, would you change anything?
That's a difficult question, because when I hire a trainer, when I decide to do something, or decide to do a show, and I have a trainer that's giving me the guidance, I never deviate. I never even think about deviating from what that trainer has said. Every gram that they have that's going into my body is what is weighed and measured and going into my body. As far as the workouts, the cardio regime, if it's fasted cardio, if it's mid-morning cardio, whatever it is, and right to the minute. Like I just, every once in a while you think, well, what's the last minute gonna? What does that? You know, it's not gonna affect my prep, but it doesn't matter. So for me to say that I would change something, I can't say that I would. You'd have to ask my coach or my trainer that, because for me, I do what they tell me, and that's the end of it. That's as far as I go, and that's why I hire people. I get a lot of messages on social media about getting my opinion on things as far as personal training, or do I personal train and that kind of thing. And I don't. I have a kinesiology degree, but it's not what I practice. So I hire other people for that reason.
Okay. And final question here:
Yeah.
Who would you like to thank?
Yeah, that list could be exhaustive. I mean, certainly the fans, but to start Mutant, picking me up in 2012, I walked off stage at Nationals and running up to me backstage, Ryan Keller giving me his card and saying call me, and then it's been a whirlwind. It's been a blast. The guys, the camaraderie, the company itself, the products. The travel, I mean, it's impossible to thank Mutant enough, and the staff and everybody around there. It's been awesome, and I really look forward to continuing that for sure. And then Ron Partlow, bringing me in the best shape I've ever been on stage. I weighed in at 271.2, highest I've ever been, and the leanest I've ever been. So those two things alone, I can't be happier. Ryan Capel, who's trained me up until this year for contest prep, but also took me through an off season that helped me put on the lean mass I have, and is my training partner day in and day out. He pushes me in the gym and keeps me going, and he's been big motivation and a big supporter of me right all along. And then of course Jill and Abby. I can't say enough about their support and helping me out along the way, knowing what I go through, and Abby is my 10-year-old daughter, for those that don't know, and she's as excited for me to be done as I am when it comes down to it, but she's always excited to hear about how I do, and is definitely rooting for me. And Jill is just huge support. She travels with me to all the shows, and leading up, I mean, a guy couldn't ask for better. So, yeah, but Mutant Nation and the fans too. It's been a great ride. I hope everything works out tomorrow, but I'm satisfied with whatever happens, because I'm totally happy with how I look and how I feel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, that will wrap things up here, and we will again have more updates coming from Trevor tomorrow. Maybe some backstage stuff. We'll have some photos going on at the booth as well. So,
Right.
Signing out here at the 2014 CBBF Nationals from Laval, Quebec.